So I'll go through the panel again. So to switch it on and off is just the on button down here. That switches it off, and that switches it on. So going down this side now, the top one is for your awning light externally. The next one down is for your dimmable lights, which are the top ones above your cupboard. And then the next one down is for all the rest of your lights in the van. And then the bottom one here is just your water pump, just as simple as water pump on, and then you'll see you get the little LED light so you know that your water pump's on. Okay, so your dimmer, as you see now, it says dimmer level at the bottom here. If you press the across arrow, you can change the brightness of your dimmable lights. As you see, it'll go all the way up to 100, and then as low as 5 as well. And you can just set the level to whatever level you want. Okay, so the menu, if you just use the up and down arrows, first one it takes you to is heating settings. I would just leave it on manual control, because you know as when you're on manual control, you're controlling the heating from the unit here, rather than this overriding the unit. And then obviously exit settings to go back out of it. So next one, heating settings. Next one is system settings. Push the in arrow and that lets you into the menu. First one is just setting the clock, so it's your hours, your minutes, your day, the date, the month, and then the year. As I said, I won't set this now because as soon as you unplug the battery, it'll wipe it off. But then as soon as we reattach your battery, you can set that clock and it will hold the information in there. Key beep, so that's just if you want the sound on when you press the button. Next one, backlight is the amount of time that the screen stays lit. And LED time is the amount of time these little blue lights stay lit as well. So you can adjust that if it's too bright for you. Tank alarms, I would leave the tank alarm off. You will find when we've fitted your new battery, that tank alarm will come back on. To switch it off is just go to the system menu, get to the tank alarm bit and push the across button. So that's on, and then if you just push it again, that'll switch it back off for you. Next one's Bluetooth pair, so it's if you wanted to put it to your phone, and then pair delete as well. And that's it for your settings in there. So let's get back up. So system settings, next one down, Sergeant, this is just the code for the unit that you've got. Leisure charging, just shows you what power is in your leisure battery. Vehicle battery, again it will show you the voltage of the vehicle battery if we had it attached, obviously we haven't at the minute. Solar panel, so this just tells you what power the solar panel is putting back into your battery. Battery select, this is where you can change over obviously from the vehicle battery to your leisure, but I would recommend staying on your leisure battery. AC limit, so this is where you can control the ampage inside the van. All you do to adjust this one is just press the cross arrow, it'll go as low as 5 amps and then also all the way up to 16 as well. And that's good for if you're tripping anything and you want to control the power internally rather than running outside and changing or reflicking the post back up. So now we've got internal temperature. So if you push the across arrow when you're on this, it'll show you the humidity and also the external temperature as well. And that's it, and then we're back to the dimmer level. So that's everything on that feature. We'll do the heating now while we're here. So, the heating, literally heating off. Just hold the button down there, and you see the little light goes off. Switch it back on, just hold your finger down for a second, and it'll switch on. You'll see it's on because the little green LED light in there. So the first menu it'll come up with here, this just shows the internal temperature is 24.5, and the little black plugs just indicates we're running on the 240. If you switch off that orange light, you know, inside your consumer unit, that little plug symbol will disappear. So if you ever haven't got that plug symbol there, it's just checking that the orange button's on inside the unit. So to wake the screen up is just press the menu button, and now here are your heating controls. So it's as easy as, the top one is just your thermostat for your heating. So it's as easy as you just set whatever temperature you want your heating to come on at, and the heating will automatically, when it reduces below 13 Celsius, will automatically kick back in. Next one down is for your hot water. So that's your hot water off. First one is sort of eco mode, it's about 40 degrees for your hot water, up to the top one, which is about 60 degrees for your hot water. So it's as simple as that. So top one heating, next one down your hot water. Okay, happy with them two? Yeah. Next two down are your power select. So this is your electric, so that's your electric off. your electric goes 1 kilowatt, 2 kilowatts or 3 kilowatts. Now all that is the amount of power that you send into the unit. The more power you send to it, the quicker it'll heat up. Okay, and then the bottom one here is the gas. So it's literally gas off, gas on. As simple as that.
Is that gas throughout the van or just?
No, this is literally just your heating and hot water for nothing else. Nothing else.
It off for a sec.
Yeah.
Which is that?
Again, so top one's your heating. Just set your thermostat and your heating. Okay.
So how do you set the time?
So if you press the little cog there, these brings up all your settings now. So these are the rest of the menus.
Right.
So top one with the little moon in. This is a night mode. So what you can do is set it so whenever you go to bed or anything, you can reduce the temperature down. Obviously it won't cool the van down, but what it'll do is lower the temperature that your heating will kick back in. So if you like it colder at night, you literally set the time, set the temperature, sorry, and then just set the time below it.
Yeah.
So you can reduce. Vice versa, the little sun is a day mode. So obviously if you like getting up at, I don't know, 7, 8 o'clock in the morning, you can set it so without even getting out of bed, at 7, 8 o'clock in the morning, your heating system will rise up a few degrees, so if you like it warmer when you wake up,
yeah,
you get out of bed. So next one, prioritise. This just changes it for what power it looks for first. Or we'll just leave it on electric, because all of us plug in on site, so you've got the electric there straight away. This one here is just the lighting of the screen. You may find if you're like me at night, I don't like any lights on, so I set the screen so when you're not using it, it goes black. Then you have to press the button to wake the screen back up. So the functions are in there. Anything that's greyed out is a function that's not available on this van. So what the two little thermostats in the grey one is that in the bigger vans you can have it hotter at one and then you can on the other. So the clock is just as easy as literally setting the time, setting the day, and if you click the little show at the bottom on the standby thing, it'll tell you the time and also the what day it is as well. Next one down, the top one here with the little Pac-Man in with the red symbols. This one here is an antibacterial function which is in your water tank, your 10 litre water tank. What this does at about 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, it heats the tank up to sort of 70 plus degrees, so it kills all the bacteria inside your water tank for you. So next one across is offset the thermostat. So if you find that the internal temperature or the actual temperature of the heating isn't quite right for yourself, easiest way of explaining that, if you've got your heating cranked up to 30 and it's not hot enough for you, you can offset the thermostat a few more degrees so it'll heat up that little bit more for you. So the one with the little mountains on, if you ever take your van above 1,000 metres, so if you go mountaineering in it, you can switch it onto mountaineering mode, and what that does is draw in more oxygen, so it helps your boiler and everything work at the same efficiency as it would at lower altitude. Don't know why you'd want to take your van up a mountain or not my cup of tea. This one is literally just key beep, so whether you want the screen to beep or not when you switch the buttons on and off. This one is a delayed start timer. So this is for a lot of people that leave it on a site. What you can do is set the timer, so on a Friday morning, your van switches on and heats up and everything for you. So when you get down here on a Friday afternoon, your van's already hot and everything for you. This one is a pump setting. Leave it on thermostat, which means you're controlling it here. You can change it so it runs constantly. Now the only time I've heard of that being used is a gentleman that takes his van skiing, and they're in -20, so he switches it on so the heating's constantly going. But in our country, you're fine just to leave it on thermostatly controlled, and then we're controlling it internally. Last one to show you here, reset. Same as anything electrical nowadays. If you're finding that the screen isn't doing what it's supposed to be doing, literally hit the reset. What that does is close the computer down and just reboots the system back up. External is for an app again on your phone. You can get an app linked up to this again. Language, if you want to speak French or German. Service, if you have any problems with it, if you press the service button, it'll come up with any codes or anything that's wrong with it. And then installed accessories, because you can go on the Aldi website and get bits and bobs added to it. It's mainly for functions on your phone and bits and bobs like that. And then we're just back to the start menu. So that's it for your heating.